asking Patrick about going back and watching the film of last year's game. I'm just wondering what you see when you go back and watch it, and just also kind of the emotions of going back and watching that game.
I haven't went back and watched it yet. I done watched a few games of theirs this year. They got a completely different offensive line, so I haven't went and visit last year yet.
So it's just specifically because of the change in personnel that you focus on?
Yeah, because of the change in offensive linemen. Everyone is new. I've been trying to get a beat on how they set, how that group is blocking together, so I haven't had time to go back to last year.
I remember talking to you in the offseason, one of these things, and you had mentioned that, the game against the Bengals in the playoffs, and felt you almost had a couple of sacks that didn't come through that way. Is it still something that is on your mind, or is that just kind of off-season stuff?
I mean, it was a driving force for this offseason. You always can look back and push yourself to do something better, and it was definitely a driving force of a lot of plays I left on the field that I think could have sealed the game and put us in a better position to win. But right now, our focus is on, this year, winning this game, putting ourselves in a position so we can go out and compete.
Go ahead, sir. Statistically, if I could talk, sorry. Statistically speaking, you're at your second best sack total already, and as a team, you guys are already eclipsed last year's sack total. I mean, I know pressures, we hear Coach Spags talk about pressures and everything, but to be doing that, you guys obviously focused on something, you're accomplishing it right now. What was the driving force? Why? Because there's not a lot of massive personnel change, right? Why you personally and the unit doing so well?
One person, man. Well, actually, two people. Terry Braden and Joe Cullen. We got some of the best coaches in the building, and we were just very fortunate. We got a very good group, very young group, a lot of hungry guys in our room, starting with the leadership of Frank Clark, Carlos Dunlap, then younger guys like Colin Sanders stepping up this year, Derek Nottie, who's been in this system for four to 5 years, and Mike Dana, Tershawn Ward, a lot of guys who's hungry to show that, they belong in this league.
Chris, not to say that you're ineffective at the beginning of games, but there's points in games where it seems like you really start cooking and you're very hard to defend. I guess just, do you know what I'm talking about and what takes you to get there and how do you challenge yourself to get to that point as fast as possible?
It's more so being decisive. I understand that every play of the game, it's not meant for me to make. Sometimes it's meant for me to take on the double team in order for the blitz to get there. And schematically, me and Spags talk about it along the week, how he plans on calling the game and how he plans on using me. And when I get my opportunity to get a one-on-one or I see something I've seen on film where I can take advantage of it, that's what I try to capitalize on.
Chris, is there anything about Joe Burrow that makes him difficult to bring down?
Oh, he's a good quarterback, man. I don't know what you guys want me to give you all world. I'm not going to give y'all all of that. He's a good quarterback, man. He's a good quarterback.
Couple more.
Chris, Andy mentioned a couple weeks ago that the difference in you early in your career and now is just how much you concentrate in the off-season on your body and the shape you're in and stuff. I'm wondering what motivates you to do that and how you've seen the difference play out on the field.
Six-pack. I've been trying to get this six-pack for 3 years, okay? Right now I'm getting older, so the older you get, it's harder to get. No, honestly, I think it's a huge part of nutrition. We got a heck of a strength staff and nutritionist staff here. Barry Rubes, me and him, we gained a huge personal relationship this offseason, and my goal was to make sure I come back in the best shape I've been in a while. And we focus on that throughout the year. It's a building process. It's a marathon, but we just continue building.
We see you at Joe's. Are the Joe's fries part of the nutrition? Is that part of it?
Yeah,
it's not working.
You got to be very decisive, man. Mondays is cheat days for me, so I goes with a half a pound of burnt ends and French fries. They're so consistent, man. That's the thing, consistency with Joe's. Their fries always taste the same. They're always fresh and hot, and the burnt ends, they're like candy. So that's my only time I get to eat beef. So I take advantage of it.
You mentioned Carlos' name. This is homecoming for him. Have you talked to him this week about what this one means to him personally?
Surprisingly, I actually mentioned that today. Me and him talking, I asked him, Carlos, this is your homecoming. He was like, yeah, this is my first time going back since leaving. And I was telling him how much they hate him over there. Because they felt like he left them when they was doing bad and then he jumped ship. But respectfully, you know, he done a lot for that organization. He's probably one of the best DNs to play in that organization. We're very fortunate to have him in this room, the type of player, the caliber player he is, and we're glad he's on our side this time. So,
Chris, you know, there's a lot of guys who've got kids in there, and Patrick just introduced us one, and I remember you saying you like dealing with kids but not babies, but how many times you've been approached to be like Uncle Chris, if you will?
oh man, it's so crazy because my when my kids hear somebody call me Uncle Chris, they'll start calling me Uncle Chris. So like, it's crazy, but yeah, I done been approached a couple times to be Uncle Chris and take the picture with the kid on the shoulder. It's all out of love, though.
Chris, we saw a lot, last year's kind of a thing made about you playing defensive end, and you guys kind of got away from that. This year, no one's really talked about it, but you've had some success out there and done that a little bit more. Is it just a matter of finding the right time to do it, or are you more comfortable at it? Why has it seemingly worked a little better this year than last year?
I think it's more situational. When it's clearly passing downs, I don't think you want to leave me in the read option against Lamar. I don't think that's the best outfit to have, but more so situational downs where I can just rush the passer and be free out there on the end. So,
Chris, specific to one of your newest teammates, running back Melvin Gordon, you've had an opportunity to play against him over the years. What makes him stand out, and what special skills stand out to you about him?
he's a hard runner. You know, I had the pleasure of playing him my first 3 to 4 years. And then I think there was I don't want to get it wrong, San Diego Chargers then before they moved to LA. So yeah, him and Phillip Rivers was together a long time. And he's well respected and high regards in this organization. So we're very fortunate to have him. I think he'll be a great asset to our running back room, and it'll be fun to watch him play.
Last one, Pete.
How proud have you been of Colin Saunders and his breakout of sorts, and what have you seen behind the scenes that sort of led to that for him?
We talked about it along the lines of training camp. We used to have our lone talks walking up and down the hill, and you know that was the focal point of his maturity. He's grown a lot in a lot of areas, and it's starting to show in the film. You turn his film on now. I mean, he's a complete different player than what he used to be, and there goes more so with opportunities also. He's having more opportunities to play, to broadcast his talent. He was hurt the past few years. Being healthy and being accessible for this team in order to be out there to show your talent is a huge thing. So to have him here playing and healthy has been great for our D-line room, you know, his contribution.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.